Great, welcome to the session. And we are very, very excited to meet you all. I am Sudiptaa Choudhury. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at ShorterLoop. And I have 20 years of rich experience in purpose-driven, measurable, and global and local branding and marketing strategies. A little bit of me is that I had been blessed with various industry award winners and winning, and also, it's a great pleasure to talk and, understand the different industries and the business. I had worked with different types of companies, both Fortune 500, small and medium businesses, and also the small and also the startups. I had my own entrepreneurial journey 4 years back, and I am back again to the corporate. So because this is where the place I love the most. I did my BE in computer science and MBA from marketing, and then I also did my senior executive women leadership course from IIM Calcutta. Um, I believe that giving back to the society at the same time, learning every day, that keeps me going. And I have my expertise in product marketing, market research, content writing, social media, entire digital marketing space, and worked with different industries from SaaS, fintech, health tech, pharma, and so on and so forth. And and I'm also a career mentor. I generally work with different NGOs and also the students and the various universities to bring them on the board on the different cutting edge technologies in the marketing space that the generations need today. So that's about me. Moving on, and I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse on the agenda today. So today we will be having the quick introduction just to know what is ShorterLoop. And then we will have a customer speaks, or I would say a quick video from one of our customers, Camilla Ramberg. She is the CEO of Cool Props. And then we will have our keynote from Mayank Gandhi, Principal Product Strategy Director. We will then have our CEO, Kingshuk Kale, will be talking about AI in continuous product discovery. And by the way, the theme is says the competitive advantage in AI-backed product management. So you will learn a lot about what is going on in the today's product management space, the current trends and the trends that you can expect in the next 5 to 10 years, and how you as a CXOs or a business owner or a product owners or the different teams who are working on the product globally, how you can leverage these trends and learn and share. Also, this webinar gives you an ample opportunity to learn from the panel discussions. That's about the how we can stop the 95% of the products that fail every year. We also have best practices session where you will find different industry speakers who will be talking, and I would be moderating these two sessions. We will then have a remote workshop. Wes Booth, being the CEO of Product Led Systems, he would be having his quick remote workshop, and this workshop is also on the YouTube. You can also learn it during your convenient time. And finally, we'll be wrapping. We really want to make this webinar a very engaging session. So we really expect that you as an audience do share, do reflect on your experiences. There will be different polls and the quizzes. Do take part because we do have exciting goodies for you, and you will also find a chance to get some exciting prize as well. So that's about it. Moving on, some housekeeping rules, if you will. So as an audience, you can absolutely go ahead and share some of this presentation or copy some slides or take a screenshot, put it on your social media, could be YouTube, could be LinkedIn, could be your Facebook, and anywhere, on the Instagram, wherever you want. Do use this hashtag ShorterLoop event, product management, AI products, whichever you feel like. I believe that product management is the space, and having ShorterLoop that really helps us going. Um, as a housekeeping rule, you will be muted, but if you have any question, please use the Zoom chat option to place your question. You can unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and ask questions. And you can also do it. Currently, we are live on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. So therefore, you can also post your questions. The people who are watching us, live streaming currently, please do post your questions on those social media channels as well. So that's it. We are very, excited with this event, and do give us the feedback. So we will also have some polls during the sessions. Do take part and make it a very enriching session for all of us. Moving on, so I will talk about the shorter loop as a whole. So what is shorter loop? Let's take a quick look. So ShorterLoop is one of these leading product management software. We are in the, in the few years back, we started our journey. We are loved by 1,000+ product teams globally, and we have been featured on the various places in where you can go and see the reviews on the product management. As you see here on SourceForge and also on Software Select and Crosstest, we had been, we had received a few hours, and we are also on G2, Product Hunt, and in Capterra. And what ShorterLoop really does is, if you think of a product life cycle, all the different product management spaces that you can think, all the agile product development cycle process, right from your ideation, learning, and also defining, collaborate, planning, strategizing, and finally design and build, and then you launch. And after the launch, you measure it. So that's about shorter loop. Why we are different? Because we believe that any product owners, any people who really would like to thrive in the modern product management practices powered by design thinking and by agile, can get 3x collaboration efficiency here while cutting down the cost by 40 to 50%. So that's about it. And ShorterLoop is also powered by generative AI, and it's a SaaS web-based platform. As I already talked about it, what the problem it solves. So you can see this is the closed circle, but it is an agile. So anywhere product journey can start based on the situation of your organization, whether you are a startup or a small medium businesses, or you are an enterprise. If you already have a new product, or you already have an existing product, for an existing product, you can definitely, do the discover, strategize, and prioritize some of the enhancement features that you are currently gathering from the feedback that you are getting from your customers, partners, and the employees. And then you can plan and build and measure. But if you are a startup or a new product, you are having a new product idea and you don't know how to go about it, ShorterLoop coaches you, guides you to go through the right product journey so that your product market fit becomes 100% correct. And this is the way we ensure that the new products are not a failure in the marketplace. Here you can see our presence. So we are headquartered in USA. We also have our offices in Netherlands and India. We are across, we are working remotely, having office in Pune, but also having good presence in other states. In case you would like to know more about us, do visit our website. You can reach out to me or, over my email or my phone number. Moving on, just a quick check. I am sure that you are using the chat. You can, anytime post your questions or provide your comments. But this is just a, quick intro that today's product teams are highly challenged by these main points that you see. One is definitely they don't get to collect or gather the customer insights. They are not able to prioritize the feature request or the enhancements request that they are getting from different channels, could be online, could be offline. And there are a lot of communication chaos, I would say, and that really barring the product teams or the owners to make more efficient communication. Project management, which is a subset of the product management, that becomes the challenge, because in that way you really don't know how to manage your project being agile if you are already following a very linear or a sequential product life cycle, and there is an agile approach to design changes or feedback that coming from the customers or from different other places. You don't know how to incorporate that because you have already gone far in your product management cycle. And also it's very important in today's world, whatever the product we are developing or designing, we should be measuring it rightly end to end. And this measuring always doesn't happen because we are using multiple platforms. Plus also we don't know what is the exact key metric that we should be tracking. Plus there is a transparency issue, because different teams are collaborating on different media, and they are using a lot of tools, so they are not really using an effective tool to being transparent, being checking each and everything there for everything right from the beginning and not at the last minute or so. So with that, the main reasons for this, when we identified and talked to different startup owners, small medium businesses and the enterprise across globally, we found that one is definitely it is the impeded flow of information, because they are currently the communication is disconnected. People don't really have the product management knowledge, that how to tackle each and every stages of product management cycle. And there are often decisions that are taken not right because of alignment issues between the departments. Could be management and the product management, or product owner, could be sales and marketing and the product development team, or a product management team, and so on and so forth. So you all, I hope that you all can relate to this situation, and you understand that you might be having some kind of a solution to this, but it is not a concrete. And that is why this session would be really helpful to understand how do you really overcome these challenges. Moving on, so what is, how are we helping the overall product management ecospace? First, by giving one platform that has all the product work having can be done, and it is as per the modern product management practices and also powered by design thinking, meaning that you really focus on a lot of discovery and understanding that are you really focusing on the right solution, right challenges, who are your right customer audience or your target audience, and therefore what are the real right features, or what are the real right thing that you will be focusing on, what is your right GTM strategy, and so on and so forth. So the platform gives you right from ideation, learning, collaboration, and design, develop, and build, and then measure. We are powered by AI, so therefore it also does the personal coaching based on the usage of the tool. And also there are different points specifically in the discovery. We will talk about this later when you will see the AI backed discovery and more. That is the time where you will learn more about it. And we are providing a collaborative space where people from any departments, not just the product teams, can have one view of seeing all the product management work. They can provide their feedback, they can comment, they can approve, reject, and that way everything stays in one place. So that's about the solution that we have built, and we'll be very happy to understand from you. If you would really like to try this, you can share your experience with us, and that would be really helpful. So all in all, we are the only one platform that has all the stages of continuous discovery, intelligent coaching, from your ideation to the value realization and surfacing the market with the product launch and beyond, and having one platform that is able to give you ample opportunities for doing your experimentation, collecting, and accepting or nullifying your hypothesis. And that is the way you also validate your ideas. So that's about it, ShorterLoop. Moving that, why product management is so very important in this year and beyond, because one thing that you see that during this year, we are ending this year, but 75% of the product managers are using different types of product management tools and the road mapping tools. That's as per Gartner. And plus, if you see the product management software as a market is really growing at a rate of 11%, and it will reach by 2030 5 billion from 2 billion in 2017. So you can see the massive growth, and you can also understand that why it is so crucial being a product owner or a manager, and what are the tools or the processes that you really need to work with your team and also with your customers and the other internal cross-functional teams where you get the leverage. So let's go about it. We also do a few product management courses that you can see. For example, we do have our consulting session on advanced product management, continuous product discovery, and product consulting. If you are interested to know more, please do send us an email at marketing@shorterloop.com. So if you would like to try, the tool is free for a solo entrepreneur and also for student. We also have price plans for small teams, startups, small, medium businesses, and enterprise. And you can definitely, try the product for free for an individual person at app.shorterloop.com/register. And also, if you are looking for a quick demo with us or a discovery call on to understand where you are on your product management journey, you can actually send us an email and we would be happy to assist you. So moving here now, I stop here on the introduction. Time to get a quick poll. Pavan, please launch the poll. And also you can ask any questions. I see in the chat there may be some questions. So let me look at the chat window. So yeah, go ahead. And if you have any questions, do that. Yeah, thank you so much. I see a lot of questions. Hi, Rohit. I will go about your question first. So the first thing you have asked that, is it free for students? Yes, it is free for students. Please try. I know that students are also they are the budding entrepreneurs. They are doing a lot of research and you may be having some incubation plans. So please go ahead and use it. So here we go about our one of our customers. It's a small video where you will see Camilla Ramberg from Cool Props, and she is a ShorterLoop customer from a long time, and she was very excited, to share her experience with all of us. So let me go ahead and play the.
I like all the features, but however, to mention some of the key ones that I loved would be the whiteboarding, which just allows us to do easy brainstorming with the whole team. Idea manager, the AI powered efficiency in gathering all those product ideas and searching through them. That's pretty strong. Product discovery, I think, was very cool. The fact that you sort of help us guide the strategic product vision, which again creates exceptional user experiences. The fact that we can do a lot of A/B testing and create hypotheses and do all those experiments allows us to focusing on the right problem at the right time. And the product planning, I think that's also very, very strong. The prioritization matrix, I think you call it, it just helps us shape the right product strategy by mapping it on, on the visual roadmaps and creating summaries. That's pretty cool. I guess, the biggest problems that ShorterLoop is solving for my organization is the fact that it's all this, streamlined workflow. It's one tool for all of our product needs, and we no longer have to, deal with any integration issues or just searching. Where do we save this? Where's that? It's all here. And why I would recommend ShorterLoop. The efficiency when it comes to collaboration, it's smart, and I like the fact that we can bring our product teams and the stakeholders together in one tool. The user-friendly UI, it's simple, it's clean, and it really didn't require any training. I like the fact that we can do strategic product development, strong product discovery, and have that strategic roadmap planning. Pretty cool. We have all the feedback in one place. we can gather it, we can prioritize it, and we can act on it in a very, very simple way. Um, and the dashboards that helps us get insights, top down, bottom up, wherever, on what level you need to see it, it's all there. And I guess it's just design thinking in action. It's a tool that is built by product development teams to do better design thinking. You can just tell. So I love how the application sort of helps us become masters of design thinking, and it really has allowed us to become better product managers. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Camilla. I really, it really helps all of us to know how much you are in love with the tool. And this is really helpful for all of our users and also the would-be users to understand that, how we can really go about using this tool. So thank you so much, Camilla. You are not here, but yes, we really love you and share more such experiences with us. Yeah. Okay, quick poll time, audience. How did you find this customer story? And please copy, if you have to do a quick selfie with your laptop or you are currently on live on the YouTube or the LinkedIn, and you have, please go ahead, post about ShorterLoop, about this event, and also answer to this poll. How did you really find the customer story session? And yeah, we would really like to know more. We would like to welcome Mayank Gandhi. He is the Principal Product Strategy Director at Oracle for quoting, ordering, and subscription management. And Mayank will share his experiences today on what SaaS companies must do to drive product-led growth. He is an engineer by profession, and then he has been with Oracle. It's been many, many years. Mayank, welcome, and please, if you would like to say a few words about you, we are here to, we would be very excited to listen to that.
Thank you so much, Sudiptaa. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. But it's just really good to be here. Good to see, again, the initiative that ShorterLoop is taking and educating people, right? Educating companies, the importance of product management, because it's one of those things that you won't realize you need until you're there. And if you're realizing it then it is a bit late. Not too late, obviously, to not do anything about it, but the education is important. The importance of product is beyond beyond some words. That what are you selling? What's your business, right? What is your product? The definition of product itself is subjective. So before I dive deeper into that, and I do have a couple of slides to walk you through, or to just provide at least my insight into it. Briefly about myself, as the introduction said, former engineer, again, started my journey like a lot of people here, or just coming out of India. Like as an engineer, discovered my passion more about the technology. Started fortunately more on the cloud side, working with servers, databases, and whatnot. But soon discovered in 2 years' time that what I'm more interested in essentially knowing what is it the companies sell, how are they building the business? Is it the people that they have that they're selling? Is it that they're selling the talent of? Is it the service that they are building, the packaging that they're doing with the services that they're selling, all the actual product that they're shipping, all the product that they are providing, like a software product? So that raised the curiosity in me in understanding what is a product, and that's how essentially I got my start in the product management. Uh, uh, in product management world, essentially, or in the product management journey. So with that, let's move on, Sudipta, to the next one.
Yeah.
What I want to start today essentially is something called product-led growth, that some of you might have heard of the term or might be aware of what this is. But before even this question, like what is product-led growth, let me ask one other question. What is your product? Is it something, again, as I said, that you ship? Is it something that you're building like a software product? Is it a gaming app? Is it a service that you're providing? You could be providing like an insurance service for your home appliances, no matter what companies manufacture your appliances, but you are the one who can take care of the insurance for that. If something goes wrong, your experts can come in and service those, or reimburse you, like how the insurances work, or these are the maintenance services. So the first question as a product leader that you need to ask when you're thinking about your business model is that what is your product? And then keep that at the center. And that's what it means to say when we say product-led growth, that it is your product that is driving the core strategies for your business, that is driving uh, the strategy behind your customer retention, your customer acquisition, your expansion. Uh, because if it is not about the product, if it is not about who your audience is, who your customers are, what segment you need to target, there's a good chance that you may not hit the kind of success that you might have expected when you first started the company, or when you first started with your business. And these are some of the examples like Zoom, Jira, Figma, Canva, and so on and so forth, who have exemplified what it meant to be a product-led company, or what it means to say when the growth is actually product-driven. So taking an example of Zoom, we are using Zoom platform right now. Was it the case up till 5 years ago that there were no web conferencing tools? Absolutely not. There were giants like Cisco, like Google, who had their own web conferencing tool being monopolized the market. But what is it about Zoom that changed the game? That became essentially not just a product, but actually a success story that exemplified again during the whole COVID era, that connected you and I, that connected companies, the employees with each other during the whole COVID era when everybody was just stuck at their home. The best thing that Zoom did was essentially to make the whole experience about web conferencing frictionless. The idea was very simple. I need to be able to connect with my teammates to get in a meeting to talk about things. What do I need for that? I need my internet connection. I need a tool so that I can know who's joining the meeting. I need a tool to talk to each other in case if I'm not talking, just to share my conversation, the ideas in the chat. Those basic things were the core features for Zoom. But the way they did it differently was that they didn't overburden the audience, the customer who's using the tool, with the fact that you need to learn how to use Zoom. It was self-discoverable. I'm able to see what the name says when there's an icon displayed on your screen. What does it mean to start a video, to stop a video, to start a chat, to see the participants? It may look simple when you see the end product, but it takes a lot of thought that goes behind in building these features in your product. The whole technology that brings on this product to your, or this app on your phone, on your tablet devices, on your laptop, which was way different, at least the approach, the business approach that Zoom has taken was different than how it was for the predecessors. Talk about Figma, Trello, or Canva. What are these? These are the collaboration tools that you can collaborate with other people. Let's say they may belong to your company, they may be somebody else that you're collaborating with, but you can share ideas, you can do the whiteboarding. And one common theme across all of these tools that you see, or across all of these companies and the products actually that they have, is the discoverability. The focus on what does my user want? Is my user actually a human who's trying to do something? How do I empower the user to use the tool that I'm providing, use the feature that I'm providing, become self-aware, or become essentially self-discoverable? How do I make it easier for them to not just use it, but to actually gain value out of it? Because in the end, what is Zoom? Zoom is not providing any business value for my business. It is a tool that I'm using to collaborate with my associates, with my colleagues, with my leadership, and talk about ideas. But in the end, this tool is making things for me easier in doing my own in doing my work. It's not making it harder. It's not something that I was trained on, that I spent hours and hours just to be trained on how to use this tool. That's the quality about all of these products that you see. Again, these are some of the few examples across the board that you see who have who have shown that what does it mean to be a product-led company, like Zoom, like Figma, like Confluence, Jira by Altasen. And then I'll touch more upon on these use cases later, but let's move on. So, as a product leader, what are the challenges that you see for the growth of your company, for the growth of your product? One of the biggest thing, or one of the biggest costs center basically for your product could be your customer acquisition cost. I have to market my product again, depending on whether I have an enterprise product or whether I have a consumer-centric product that is like a gaming app that I can just put on a Play Store. There is a cost associated, and cost not just in terms of the monetary cost, but in terms of the personnel, the efforts that is put in to put the product out there and see what leads it can generate so that I can actually get a customer, a paying customer, to sustain my business. The double whammy of this is that, or at least now with the shifting pattern in the economy here, which is going towards a subscription model, is that there is still no guarantee that the customer that is today a customer of yours, after all this effort that you have put into make the user, the customer use your product, if they are going to continue with you in your journey or not. That comes to the second part, that's your customer retention. How do you retain the customers? Which essentially requires you to make sure your product is providing the value that customer is expecting it to do. It's not your version of the value that customer should be getting. It's customer's version of the value that he or she should be getting when they are using your product, which is again one of the biggest challenges as well, especially in the subscription economy. Well, I liked your product. I may sign up for the free trial for 7 days, for 1 month, whatever the free trial that you're offering. Does that mean that I will continue to I will take it on from that to pay you for the subscription for this product to use it? Maybe not, depending on how good I see your product to be for my benefit, for my use, the value that I can get out of it. I may sign up for 6 months. Let's see how this pans out. But after 6 months, can I guarantee that I will continue to use it? Maybe not, unless I continue to see the value. That's where product leaders needs to add values to the product, so that in order to make the product sticky for their customers. As hard as it is to acquire new set of customers, it is harder to put in the effort to retain them continuously, especially when you're talking about SaaS businesses, and especially when you're talking about products that are being sold in a subscription model. The challenge is much more. You didn't just sold the product once like it used to, that at one time cost. You have sold your product and then you can just say be done and dusted and then sell more services on top of that. Especially in the SaaS world, this requires continuous engagement with the customers, continuous feedback loop from the customers to understand where something might be missing and then what more you can do as a product leader to make your product valuable. Underneath all of this, there are technological challenges, there are the technological changes. When you might have first started the product, you might have decided on an architecture, the tools that could be used to build the product. Good. Is it scalable? Is it set for long term? One or two pieces might be shifting, or even the whole platform might be shifting to something else. Is your product architecture robust enough, scalable enough to adapt to these technological challenges without affecting the customers too much? Or is there a cost associated to it? Of course, there's a cost associated to technological challenges or the changes that you might need. Are you bearing the cost, or is your business good enough to bear that cost, or are you passing that cost to the consumer? That could be a business model as well. But these are some of the things that, again, as a product leader, you need to think through when you're designing your product, when you're defining your product, or even when you're designing the evolution of your product from point A to point B. How will you get there? And then lastly, obviously in everybody's mind, when you talk about a product, when you talk about a business, what should be your monetization strategies? Taking example of Zoom again, one of the best things that these guys did was that they made their pricing simple. They didn't create like a big price list of, if you are this user with this much use with in this geography, in this location, the price is going to be so and so for you. They kept it simple, which made the consumers, the customers of this, it easier to understand what do I need to pay Zoom in order to use the tool? Or if I'm a student, well, good, it is free for me. If I'm a solo entrepreneur, it is free for me to use. That's fine. But what about when I'm a small company, if I'm a medium-sized company, if I'm an enterprise? All of those things could be made easier when your monetization strategies are clear in your mind as a product leader. Obviously, it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of effort to be put in to came up with these strategies. The unlike you, unless you are like Zerodas or Swiggy's or Zomato of the world who are doing something very unique that has not been done before, then you have the advantage of deciding the pricing on your own. But that is not the case for 90 to 95% of the companies out there or the products out there, which means that you may have some data preset to help you understand, to give you the starting point, and then decide as per your business model how should you price the usage of the product, or basically price the product overall. So as a product leader, these are the challenges, or these are some of the few challenges that you should be thinking about uh, uh, thoroughly. Again, keeping big picture in mind when you go about strategizing, envisioning the product and the execution of it. Uh, Moving on, so our topic of the day, AI, and should AI be used in product management? I would ask it differently. Why should AI not be used in product management processes? It has become a buzzword like it was 4 to 5 years ago when we were all were talking about blockchains and bitcoins. But it's not like all of these things just came into being just like that when ChatGPT said they got this generative AI tool that you can ask question and it can give you actual human comprehensible answer as if you're talking to another person behind the machine. The technology was there long before this, but the way it evolved, the way it gained the popularity, that became much more viral with ChatGPT. So, as a product leader, again, the question that you need to ask yourself is that what are the areas where your team, your company is spending a lot of time in when it comes to things surrounding the product? How can you make those things efficient? For example, when I'm trying to come up with, when I'm talking to a customer brought up an issue with my product that, well, I don't like the fact that you got this page where I need to click on these buttons. Okay, good feedback. What can I as a product manager do with that? Should I go and talk to 10 other customers? Should I go and put out a survey for my 1,000 other users just to see if what do they think about this page and the use of these buttons on this page? Maybe, but that will take time. The time for you to collect the data, the time for you to process the data, and all of those things. Or can I be proactive in monitoring how my app is used, how every single touch point that you got on my product, be it a system touching the product, be it a user touching the product, how is that, can that be monitored? Of course, it can be monitored. But there are technology, there are tools that can help you do that. And now these are the things which are much more accessible to not just collect the data, but actually process the data, find the patterns. And that's where AI comes into the picture. Uh, to not let the people working on the products spend time on things that can be automated. Let them focus on something that machine cannot do. What machine cannot do are the things that can actually detect the value of the product and finding the right set of customers, the right set of users. That's where your leaders come into the picture. That's where all writing the set of algorithms that uh, if it is or if it is too complex, your machine can detect the pattern, can tell you what can be done, but the actual work still needs to be done. Where your human counterpart can help you, but it's the co-piloting between your human intelligence and between your machine intelligence and your human creativity. That this combination is where your AI can help you make your product processes much more efficient. You do the product testing. I can write maybe 10 use cases for a given, 10 test cases for a given page. Is that enough? Maybe I'm limited with my thinking on what else can be tested with a given feature. At the same time, now I can tell a machine that, you know what, this is the page I got, or this is the feature that I got. Can you analyze what this feature is and then suggest what should be tested? That has been automated for a long time, and that should be automated. You should be spending more time in fixing the issues as opposed to just detecting the issue. Let machine do the work. Partner with the machine to help you identify the problems and then come up with the solutions with you on them, as opposed to spending more time in some of those manual things. So as again, going back to my first question, why should you not use AI in your process? You should be. The challenge is that prioritization here. I see 10 different problems in my product management processes. Should I just plug in my AI in every one of them? Maybe, if I can afford that much of time. But I, as a product manager, I, as a good product leader, need to identify what are the critical problems where I can actually use my tools, my technologies that are available now to my engineers much more than it was before, and focus on the right thing that provides value for my business, as opposed to just casting a wide net and then hoping to catch something just because I've casted a wide net to say, can AI help me? So yeah, I hope you're getting the point in terms of not just educating yourself on what tools are out there, what technologies are out there, how to use them the right way would be the key for the products to actually come out and shine amongst the competitors that you see out there. That's the message that I want to leave you guys with. Then lastly, if you can move on, Sudiptaa. Your product managers charters. So, and then these are again some of the key things that I think every single product manager out there need to look at. You won't find like anything. Again, there's no secret sauce to be a successful product manager, but it's in the effort that you put in to do the right things, to put in the right effort, to use the right tools to make product valuable for your customers, identifying what those customers are, who the users are, and make it much more user-centric. The paradigm here has shifted. When we used to say the user-centric design, it used to mean different things when you were talking about enterprise applications versus your consumer applications. Amazon has changed that. Amazon being used by businesses across the world. The same expectation for the consumer who's using Amazon to say, I want to search for my product, I want to see, I want to recommend what, or as a tool, as a vendor, as a seller, I want to recommend you as a user, what can you buy next? That has now came into, well, for a while now, came into the enterprise arena as well for the enterprise softwares. The same expectation, the same user who's using Amazon is expecting your tool, your enterprise tool, to reflect, to react in a similar manner like any consumer apps do. So that's where you need to be much more focused on anticipating what user might be expecting and be proactive in providing those tools to them without them coming and asking you, can you do this for me? Then that's what it means to be doing your job right as a product leader, as a product manager. Use network effects. What does that mean? So network effect is when you can use your users as your evangelist for your products, like ShorterLoop has done by putting a customer story out. What is it about ShorterLoop that customers like? You heard that in the video a few minutes ago. That helps the review, the positive review, the coming directly from the users about your product helps telling that story a lot, rather than a founder of this company, or rather than me being the owner of this product and me telling the same story, repeating that on every other platform. It's good when the actual users can comment on the products and the product's use. So use that network effect to gain the popularity for your product, to educate more people about the product. And obviously, as a product manager, you need to do the work to make the product actually useful for the consumers. Then lastly, and this is like an age-old thing, you need to have a continuous feedback loop, be it with your stakeholders, be it with your leaders, with your customers. Feedback is good, but at the same time, analyzing those feedback to take actionable item is more important. And as a product leader, you need to understand what to do with what feedback, how to identify the patterns. This is one of the most challenging things still in the product management arena, where somebody can obviously come to you and complain about what is not working, but it's hard to get to the core of it. What is it that you're trying to do, and why is it that you're trying to do what you're trying to do, which can be improved by the product? And that's where your product manager can help you identify the core of the problem, to answer it, or to do something about the problem that can help you, that can help your customers across the board, as opposed to just helping one or two customers or one or two users identify and address those problems. So that's where your feedback loop is really important, and more important is the way you take those feedback and convert that into the actionable items. So with that, again, thanks for your patience. I hope this was helpful. Just wanted to again put my insight into for product leaders out there, coming from my experience.
So, Mayank, I think you mentioned that why not AI be used in product management, and you also talked about a lot about this continuous and the qualified feedback. Uh, just a quick thing, that if there are two important things for a product management charter, they have to consider, which is an absolutely non-negotiable. What are those two, as per your views?
You said it, the first and the last one. You're
Okay.
being your product user-centric and the continuous loop. You just cannot do away with that. But otherwise, you would be setting yourself up for failure. If you're not listening to the stakeholders, it's important to listen to your stakeholders, to your leadership. They are coming from a position. They might be coming up uh, to the position or to the decision with a gut. But as a product manager, it's your job um, to validate the hypothesis, use the data to validate what the hypotheses are, and would it be actually useful? Maybe do a focus group, do your A/B testing and whatnot, to make sure that uh, you're not just going by somebody's gut feeling and taking and making your developers or engineers do the work just because somebody said so. That needs to be validated. And this is you sitting between the leadership and your development team, whose job is it to make sure that that right focus, right effort, right investment is made for the right thing, not just because somebody said so.
Great. Thank you so much, Mayank. I found it really valuable, and I'm sure others too. By the way, while you were talking, Mayank, we got so many questions on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. People were asking more about how regarding the feedback, regarding the overall shorter loop, plus also your session. So thank you so much. We will get back to you later, Mayank. We would be seeing you again in the panel session. So yeah, let's go ahead, and thanks once again, Mayank, for meeting our audience and also sharing this insightful keynote with all of us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Great. Moving on, guys. Let's get into, yes, our next session will be taken by our CEO, Kingshuk Kale. So Kingshuk, over to you. And he will be talking about AI-powered product discovery, continuous product discovery, and more. Over to you, Kingshuk.
So, hello everyone. My name is Kingshuk Kale. I'm the founder of ShorterLoop, and a bit about me. I grew up in India, Pune, India, but now I live in Utrecht, Netherlands, another university city. So I went from one small, beautiful university to another small, beautiful university in another country. I've been a software engineer for 23 years, product manager for 10 years, and then for past 15 years, I've been working mainly as a product coach and an agile coach. And then about 1.5 years ago, I founded ShorterLoop, and I'm the CEO and the founder of ShorterLoop. The reason why ShorterLoop exists is because we want to help teams build great products. But how do you build great products? So, when we talk about product managers, there's often we have an example of someone like Steve Jobs, who had a brilliant idea, a flash of idea, and then he just took it from there and became great, or that's what we think. But actually, the greatness of a product manager is not having like one brilliant idea in a dream or on an acid trip and taking it forward, but it's about every day getting small decisions right. Because as a product managers, we make hundreds of decisions every week, and it really matters whether we get those calls right or wrong. And that's in essence is what product manager is. So if you look at what product managers, product owners do, they do three things mainly. There's discovery, there's delivery, and there is learning. So what is discovery? Discovery is deciding what to build. Delivery is building it and putting it in the hands of the customer. And learning is basically understanding the impact of what we are delivering. So the essence of discovery is working out what the most valuable things we need to build. Delivering is delivering that value quickly. And then as part of learning, we have to draw insights from what we have delivered and what we understand from customer. Now, the thing is, delivery is extremely well understood because we have been delivering products for many, many years, like at least for 50 years. So people have studied it. There are a lot of, it's a mature field. Uh, there are a lot of agreed approaches, call it waterfall, call it agile, call it Kanban, whatever, but there are a lot of frameworks on how to deliver product fast. Uh, on the other hand, discovery, not very well understood. I mean, it is an essential part of what we do, but it hasn't been addressed uh, in as much depth by at least by large enterprises as it should be. It is also unstructured because delivery is as discovery is essentially it's a chaotic field where there are lots of variables and you have to figure out what is going on and so on. And it is still a developing craft. Now, while discovery is unstructured, it could definitely benefit from a structure, or that's what that, or at least that's what we believe. And learning part is also kind of in its infancy right now, where uh, learning is mainly iterative. So we have to keep learning and not give up, like not do our market research once, but keep going at it, keep doing it, and so on. And there are adaptive approaches, and learning is evolving. So these are the three phases of discover of product owner. And as I said, delivery is the best understood, most clearly understood by everyone, and discover and learn are not that well understood as of today. And so yet, while making decisions is a very important part of product managers, and making the right calls is also a very important part of not just product managers, but product teams as whole. But we keep getting those decisions wrong. Why does that happen? So there are four so-called villains of bad decision making. I would encourage everyone to read this book called Decisive by Chip and Dan Heath. Mm, and they go into details of why our decisions are wrong. So one thing is we frame a decision narrowly, in that if we have not enough information, we don't consider all the other information that is outside available, but maybe not readily available to us, and we frame frame the topic under discussion very narrowly. Secondly, there could be a lack of clarity because management is a chaotic field. So naturally, there are a lot of unknown things. There's a fog, and we are often not so good at clearing that fog. There's always confirmation bias, where we try to seek data that already confirms our existing bias, and we disregard data that could question our pre-drawn conclusions. And then we are often confident in our value proposition, especially for founders like me. That's a curse because yeah, why would I start this company if I wasn't extremely confident that this will work out? Uh, Unfortunately, 90% of the cases it doesn't, because 90% of the products, businesses fail by the third year. But hope burns eternal in human heart. So we have to be overconfident sometimes. So another reason why we get these decisions wrong is because we do not test our assumptions clearly before we start building things. Um, and there are certain type of risks that develop because of that. And some of those risks are, maybe the customers simply won't want your product because there is no value for them in it. So the value isn't there. Maybe the value is there, but product is just too hard to use. It is very complex, and so people try to find some simpler solutions. Or maybe product is fine, it's usable, the value is there, but it's just very costly. And so the business feasibility is not there to actually build a business model for your product. Um, Sometimes there might be just constraints in terms of your already running business. Maybe you are putting out a product in the market that will cannibalize your existing business. And then you have to think whether, the product that we're delivering still keeps our business viable or not. And then finally, the last thing is, maybe it is just not the right thing to do ethically. Uh, Take, for example, all the crypto exchanges that are currently in trouble because of the money laundering and all the other shenanigans that they pull. And that's another risk. So all these assumptions, we tend to, when we start a new thing, we are super enthusiastic about it, and yeah, we are all raring to go. And when that happens, we often ignore these assumptions and we don't test them enough. We don't validate enough. We just assume them to be true, and that leads to a big problem. This is, by the way, this is from an article by Marty Keegan, which will share the resources later. So, how can we be right more often? That's the goal, right? To get as many calls as possible right. So the answer to that is continuous discovery. What is continuous discovery? It is an approach to user research where you don't do research once and stop. You do small amount of research every week, every day you're talking to your customers, every day you're learning something new. Every sprint, you have a goal to learn something new, because your product is not a static thing. Your product is continuously evolving. It's a living, breathing thing, and your users are the main beneficiaries of your product, so they are in the best shape, or they're in the best place to shape your product. So it is extremely crucial that you continuously speak to your customers, you continuously understand your customers, you draw insights from their usage, and then you use those insights to improve your product. And that's how you will make the right calls. You make right calls by gaining information, and the way to gain information is to continuously look for it, continuously discover it. So let's look at the steps involved in continuous discovery. First of all, you have to agree to a business outcome. Why are we doing something? There has to be some business reason, because we're not doing things just because we want to do it. We want to achieve some desired outcome from it. So we all need to agree on that as a team, in a product team. Then we have to speak to the customers regularly. We have to figure out what their needs are and map those needs to our own product, our own value proposition. Then we have to figure out what are the needs that we can address first, or address best for least amount of work. Basically, we have to size them and choose the appropriate need that we can address. And then we have to solve their problem. We have to address that need. But while we are doing it, we have to continuously validate our assumptions and make sure that we're on the right track. This may sound a bit theoretical or esoteric, let me explain with an example. So, oops, I think I went back. So in ShorterLoop, we were looking at what to build next in the in next quarter, basically, because we are seeing that people are quite happy with our collaboration tools, but they can be further improved. So our objective was that we want to enhance our user engagement and satisfaction with our collaboration suite. Okay, so this is basically your plain OKR. I'm not going to go into the details of what OKRs are, but the key results that we wanted to achieve was 25% increase in the usage of the tools themselves. And this included whiteboard, which is already present in the tool, and a documentation module, which is currently in beta and which should be out soon. Documentation module is basically like a wiki. So we started out with this objective. Then the next thing was speak to customers and map their needs. Now, I'm showing you some screenshots to show our process and how we did this. And these screenshots are from ShorterLoop itself. So we use our tool for our own development. You don't have to use the tool. What is important is getting that method right. I mean, this tool helps immensely, but if you don't want to use ShorterLoop, use something else, fine. But use this process. So second is, yeah, so in order to understand what our customers needed, we went to our idea manager and discovered, what customers were throwing up as ideas. And we did some analysis and so on. And then we mapped customer needs, or we basically mapped what customers wanted to accomplish from a wiki, what sort of things they enjoyed about using a documentation module or a wiki, what their pains were, and so on. And this is how we built a persona of a typical wiki or documentation user. Then we went ahead and mapped their gains, their pains, the jobs they wanted to do from that, with some gain creators and pain relievers that we thought would be interesting, that we thought would be good for them, that we thought there would be pickup for them in the market. So we mapped that. Uh, Out of that came out three things. We discovered that there were three big problems that documentation posed to our users. First is, it is challenging to navigate through documentation that is, poorly organized, or there's just so much information, there's so much documentation that no one has even time to read all that, and then it becomes unmanageable. That was the problem of some teams. Other teams, people just didn't want to document. No one wanted to write everything down because everything was in their head. So there was not enough engagement, and so no one felt it useful to use a documentation model. Then the other thing was, yeah, we created a ton of documentation at the beginning of the project. Um, but now do we actually have to maintain it? Oh man, so who's got time to go back and edit documents as the situation on the ground changes? So these were the main three problems that came up. Now the next step was we needed to size them. And to size them, we had to answer three questions. What is the spread of this problem? What is the intensity? So how many people are facing this problem? How bad this problem is? And is it strategically aligned with our vision for ShorterLoop? So again, we needed some answers. So we visited our idea manager, and with the help of idea manager AI, we could figure out that uh, we did some analysis, and we figured out that the problem where excessive and poorly organized documentation was hard to manage was the biggest problem, because it was a large problem, as in the problem was faced by a lot of teams. Intensity was not that high, but it was still quite high. And it aligned very well strategically with our vision. So we decided to address that. So then we had two solutions. First was we'll provide out of the box hierarchy. So when you document something, you will be able to see the hierarchy of your organization, your individual product, and your individual team out of the box in the tool. And we'll give advanced searching so that people can easily search for things. And we'll provide like Wikipedia type linking where people can automatically link stuff to each other and so on. So that was solution one. The other solution was more radical, which is forget hierarchy. We don't need hierarchy. Everything is like a cloud. Everything is graph. So any document can connect to any other document. And we'll also provide advanced searching and ad hoc linking. So, but when we actually, and so we needed to then figure out, okay, what are our assumptions here, and what is the right thing to do here, and so on. So when we actually looked at this, by the way, there are 15 ways of validating your assumption. There are 15 methods. I won't go into the details of it, but you can see that there are methods that allow you to just ask users about their opinion, and there are methods that require you to build software and really monitor how users perform so that you can collect data passively. And the methods where you are, and also there are methods that target fewer users, and there are methods that target many users. So it is important that you pick the right method, you pick the appropriate method for this purpose. So because we wanted to target medium number of users or as many users as possible without spending a lot of effort, we decided to go with um, a prototype type situation. So we built a prototype in Figma, and we tested a group of like 20 users on that. And we got the feedback that the first solution, which was hierarchy, not a graph solution, but product, team, project type hierarchy, uh, was the right way to go. So that's what we ended up building. And that product will be out, in a month, less than a month, I think in 3 weeks it will be out. So this was just an example of how we used continuous discovery to, first of all, decide on a business objective, then figure out what our customers needed, then to figure out what their appropriate or preferred solution was, and to build it. And this we didn't do for every feature we built, we continue to do this. So research, talking to customers is not a one-time thing, it is a continuous thing. Now, speaking of that, how can AI be of help here? So I'm going to go a little bit into the AI details. There's a caveat, which is, yeah, we may use AI, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to think. We still have to think. AI is our assistant. AI is not our master. So it doesn't mean that, we should not use our brains. We should. So how might AI help? So one thing is, so we have hundreds of users, but imagine if you had thousands of users for your product, and they're all sending you feedback. They're all showing you lots of ideas. And as a product manager, it is a big problem if you don't get enough feedback from the users. But paradoxically, it is also a problem if you get a ton of feedback from your users, because then you have to sift through all that feedback. You have to understand it. You have to process it. You have to synthesize it. And that's a big chunk of work in itself. And every product manager should do that. Like I will never say that that's a waste of time. It is not. But you can do it more efficiently with AI. So for example, in ShorterLoop, if you get hundreds of ideas, with the help of AI, we can turn them into specific themes. So for example, here, there was a specific theme that says, yeah, we are facing information overload. And there was another theme that was related to documentation and accuracy and so on. And so if AI can do this sort of sorting for you, of course, you need to double check and look at that, but it will get you started so that you don't have to spend inordinate amount of time just classifying the things that NLP can very easily do for you. Another way in which AI might help is, this is especially good if you're new to product management, because often for product teams, it is hard to see what sort of assumptions and hypotheses they're already considering, especially if you're a founder type. I always have problem in zeroing in on my own assumptions, because I have that bias, confirmation bias. So AI is a good partner in that case, where AI can actually show you, like, these are the hypotheses that you have built into your value proposition. These are the assumptions that you're working under. You better validate them. And then AI can go one step further, and AI can suggest that, like, here it shows you that, AI is suggesting, the blue stuff is with AI. So AI is suggesting that to validate this assumption about value creation, you should do, um, basically, a survey. And the method is survey. Basically, you should give it 1 month of time, and you can do it for $100. That could be your budget. So AI can not only surface the hypotheses and assumptions that you're making, but it can also show you or suggest you a way to test them. And this can be very powerful. Uh, and I would say not just for new people, but even for seasoned, um, product managers, it can be a very good assist. Another way in which AI can help is, basically, it can analyze the customer sentiment, draw heat maps. So for example, when I said we needed to figure out the spread and the intensity of the problem, yeah, AI is really good at those things. It can also do things like find out, with workload, what are the issues currently facing or ideas are about, etc. Um, but you can take it to one step further, and imagine if you connected your own document store, or your own financial infrastructure, or your CRM to AI. Then not only can AI, like, generating text is very basic. It's almost like a gaming. It's a low level AI, but AI can dive deeper into your business model, and it can show you the trends from the past, but it can also forecast that, hey, your market is Europe. August is a holiday in Europe, so you're going to have fewer cells in August. So you either need to increase the cell size, or you need to reduce the cell cycle, and so on and so forth. So AI could tell you that. AI could also tell you that you are having more success with, say, mid-sized customers versus government, or enterprise customers versus, startups, and so on. And it can also tell you where to focus your needs, and what the needs, or sorry, where to focus your resources and efforts on which customer segment, and what are the most pressing needs of that customer segment. So AI can go into that depth and be your eyes and ears in the market and help. We do not have that yet, this type of system yet, but we are working on something similar to this. This is our vision with AI. But AI can go beyond continuous discovery. AI can also do help us in many different ways, and this is something that we are looking into right now. So, for example, when it comes to fine tuning your business model, AI can do scenario playing for you. AI can simulate different market situations for you. Um, AI can figure out what is your cash flow going to look like based on not just your forecast data, but also what the current reality in the market is, what your CRM situation looks like, and so on. It can also figure out, what sort of risks you have in your business model. It can suggest ways to mitigate them. It can also do competitive analysis for you, and so on. So AI can be really, really helpful in fine-tuning your business model, as long as you know how to use it well for that purpose. Another way in which AI can help you is it can improve planning. So, for example, AI can look at your insights from your customer feedback, and AI can tell you that, oh, this particular feature that is on your roadmap, it should have higher priority because a lot of customers are facing problems that can be solved by this particular feature or this particular functionality. It can also tell you that, oh, these features are dependent, so you need to make sure that feature X goes before feature Y, and so on. And of course, it can help you plan your capacity intelligently so that you don't get any surprises in the middle of the discovery. So those are just some of the ways in which AI can help you. That's also our vision for AI, and that's what we are going to focus in 2024 in building this sort of giving depth to our solution by building in AI functionality in it. Thank you very much. I await your questions. And if you have any.
Thank you so much, Kingshuk. One question that we have here is when you think about building the product, right? You talked about three process: deliver, learn, and discover, right? How the building process AI can help, and how does ShorterLoop help with that?
So building, I think Mayank covered quite a bit of it. So for example, when you are trying to, for example, you can tell the AI that this is the feature I want to build, and AI can come up with test cases for it, right? AI can also, for example, when you're tracking your sprint progress or your velocity and whatnot, AI can actually do some simulations and tell you when is this feature, like your projection is that this feature will be ready in, say, January, by end of January. But looking at the progress that your team is making right now and looking at their dependencies and so on, it looks like it will take longer. AI can also like monitor software dependencies for you, because in today's world, a lot of teams use all kinds of software dependencies that are based on, like, that are dependent on open source software and so on. AI can also monitor security. Like, it can monitor your software for security holes and issues and so on. So applications are endless. People just need to be clever enough to figure out what those applications are going to be, and then provide a way of leveraging them. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kingshuk. Guys, any other questions that you have, and can we have the poll, please? How did you find Kingshuk's session? You can definitely ask him question. He is there on LinkedIn. So please, you can touch base there, as well as you can have, if you have any questions, ask now. We can take a few more seconds before we move to our next session. We will be starting with the panel sessions shortly. So guys, let's complete the poll and let's go ahead. Any other questions while the poll is going on? Kingshuk, another question that I have here is, how about the whiteboard? Like, is AI and whiteboard, is there any connection that AI can do, or any thoughts that
Yes,
you have
sure.
on your mind?
So, for example, AI. I mean, I hesitate to use word AI as a noun, but with the AI capabilities, you could potentially uh, connect your. You could have the AI capabilities in the whiteboard in such a way, and um, I don't know if I should share this, but for example, you could automatically build your whole presentation that you're going to make to, depending on the audience. So you could be making a presentation to your engineering team where more low level details are needed, versus you could be making a presentation to your management team where you need like a more, like, 1,000 feet overview. And with our, the capability is not there yet, but we are building it with our whiteboard plus presentation module and AI. You could build those sort of presentations in minutes. So that is something you could do. Also, AI could suggest like you could build intelligence in whiteboard itself, which we haven't done yet. Still, again, working on it. But it could potentially suggest you different templates to use for certain tasks, um, and it could be like a facilitator, because often what is missing in teams is a good facilitator who can allow everyone to speak and ideate and have everyone's voice heard. And AI can be a neutral, unbiased facilitator in that case.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kingshuk. Thanks everyone for your warm response on the poll and also on the question. Thanks, Kingshuk, for the lovely presentation. We really learned a lot about the overall aspect when it comes to this product discovery and how does AI help. Moving on, we now have our panel session, and I would like to welcome two of our speakers. Just give me a minute, and we will start with Mayank and Shubhabrata Paul Choudhury being our panel speakers. So let's move on.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon,
Hello.
Mayank. Hi, Shubhabrata. Good to have both of you here. Hi, audience. This is our panel discussion. It's a rapid fire round. We have 20 minutes, and this is the topic that we are discussing today. How can we stop 95% of the products that fail every year? And just a little bit about the introduction part. Shubha Brata comes with 17 years of IT expertise, and he excels in product strategy formulation, stakeholder management, computer analysis, and roadmap planning. And you have met Mayank before. Mayank, so he doesn't really need require an introduction now. So welcome both of you. We are very, very honored to have you both again in the session. Mayank from your side and Shubha, glad to meet you here. So let's start. Shubha, why don't you discuss this first, that what are the ways that you see the new products that are being failures, right, every year, how that can be prevented? So please go ahead, and if you would like to give a little bit more about you, please do start with that.
Thank you, Sudiptaa. Thank you, Kingshuk, for having me here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Choudhury, Choudhury, having total 17 years of work last 10 years into product management, and happy to be here, talk about my experience and my learnings using AI in product management. If I look at the history of the startup failures, the top three reasons that comes up in my mind are like it's because there has no market fit, or there has been no product requirement, but someone has just crazily did some product development and started this. The second reason is insufficient fund to run the whole show. And then third being that inadequate team, like you need to have the right team at the right place to, the success of your product journey. So these are the first key aspect that I see in a statistical result from the historical analysis of the startup failures. And to prevent that, what comes up in my mind is like you need to start it well. So I think right from the word go, you need to start doing your hypothesis validation, what Kinshuk was saying. And also, it requires a lot of customer validation. So it's not just that you use your AI tools to predict something or come up with your. It's very good in the sense, I'm not denying that the power of AI should be avoided. You must harness the unrivaled power of AI. It can be a better ally on your side. So take it on your side and then walk along with it. So I think, but of course, you also need to go back to your customer to validate those points. So get the insight and then validate along with your customer to understand and validate, and then that's the starting ground point where you should start building your product. The next thing that comes in my mind is about the market research. So AI can do wonder in terms of doing marketing research, in terms of starting from sentiment analysis, the market trends, pattern analysis. It can also help you strategizing your what could be your potential marketing plan, positioning aspects, and so many other things. But I think while doing so, you also need to be very careful, to talk to the right customer to understand what is the exact segment of your customer that your product meets their need. Because while doing this customer validation, I think you might find out few of the analysis result or outcome from your analysis that there is not a potential market for this. So at that point, perhaps you need to be a bit cautious and take a pivot so that you move on and try something new. So it's no harm in failing, but fail early, learn from it, and move on. That's the journey you should try to take. Then I think moving to the next slide, if you can, Sudipta, if you're presenting.
Yeah, I am presenting. Can you see that?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, let me present it one more time. Let me know once you see it.
Yeah.
Now we can.
All right. I think if you just go back one slide quickly, the two pointers I just
Sure.
talked about for the benefit of the audience. So
Yes,
we are talking
sure.
about the market research and validation, and then I think about the market. I mean, your validation and also the. Sorry, I think I can't see the customer segmentation and the other targeting your right audience. So I think we talked about this. Move on to the next slide, please, if you can,
Yeah.
Sudipta. Thank you very much. All right. So the third part is about the predictive analytics for your financial planning. So as the second pointer of any startup failure being running out of cash, I think AI can do enormous help in terms of finding out the right investor. So there are various apps and the networking you can utilize from these apps that can help you get your investors. Also, it can analyze all the historical results and tell you what is your current financial scenarios, what is your identify the potential risk and how you can mitigate those risks. So you can take help of AI in that sense. And moving on to the fourth topic, which is the operational efficiency, which of course is very powerful in terms of robotic process automation. So you can utilize RPA in terms of automating the manual flows and get rid of all the mundane tasks that your people or your workforce is busy with, and make them do some better work or spend their time more judiciously in terms of taking better decision, and help the AI models in terms of taking the right input and right decision. The fifth one, if I can touch upon, is the talent acquisition, because the right team has to be in place. It's not just the CEO, but CFO, CIO, CTO. All these things are very crucial in a early startup journey. So identify the best fit candidate. AI can be of help again there. You can identify from your productivity requirement in terms of your organization vision, mission, and the right resources from the LinkedIn or any other networking sources, and then utilize and get into a conversation, understand what are their ambition, and then move into a discussion. How can they help? If they are really interested in your product journey, if they're really up and aligned with the vision and mission that you are trying to accomplish in your goal. So that way, I think bringing the right talent also can be of great help from AI. The sixth one, if I can talk about, is the customer engagement and the personalization. AI plays a great role here. I think there are multiple ads that can help customizing the right email that you are sending for converting any lead to successful product purchase or things like that. And also, I think the AI chatbot can help in terms of different product discovery question that your customer may have. So all those things can be greatly utilized using the different AI techniques, and AI is really an enabler in this space. Moving on to the next slide, Sudipta, if you can. Thank you. Supply chain optimization. I think it's the enhancing the supply chain efficiency in terms of bringing, analyzing the data, identifying the areas of improvement where something is getting stuck, and take an early proactive measure so that you can reduce any further delay or any stock out that may happen for your in your product delivery, or predicting the right demand, minimizing the excess inventory in cases of big retail outlets that you are running. So all these cases can be heavily used by or supported by AI use cases. Moving to the next one is the GTM. Go to market is a very crucial step for any early startup success. You as you have done your validation, you have now built your product. Now thing is like how you are reaching to your customer. Maybe you have identified the early adopters. Now it is the time how you are making them as your brand ambassador, and then helping them to share their journey and their success story with the rest of the audiences, so that you can help you to your go to market, any social promotion that they can help you with, and all those things AI can leverage in terms of customizing the content. The perfect delivery, the email template are available. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the early warning and adaptation. It's very crucial for success of any startup is to have keep check on where you are, how are you doing, and in that way, I think monitoring, setting the right KPI at the right time in the beginning, and then monitoring it over the product life cycle as it progress, and then do the necessary course correction as and when you see that you are deviating from your expected result to your actual. So that course correction is very important. And as I say, like if you're seeing that it is not giving you enough value, it's better to pivot than continue on the failure path. So adaptation is very crucial. You need to adapt to your market dynamics. You're responding to the uh, startup strategy based on real time. Maybe anything that industrially that has changed. Maybe there is a regulation that has come in and has changed your ball game altogether. So you need to be very adapting, and course correct as and when is required. And for that, I think placing the right KPIs and monitoring is very crucial. And finally, the regulatory compliance, as I was saying, like as AI is proliferating in today's world, so is the concern related to AI. Data privacy concerns have already we have seen several times. So the data governance need to be put in place, and also use AI ethically. What is more well known as responsible AI is what should be the focus of the day. Stay updated with the changes in the regulation, and try to keep maneuver your product journey along the way depending on the regulation as it comes. So with that said, I think I'll just take a pause and take any further question if you guys have.
Thank you so much, Shubha. I just have one question, is that you talked about, yes, responsible AI, how that can protect the business failures, right? Would you like to take any top AI tools in the product management space that you have seen it's doing all of these or majority of this, and you want to guide our audience today by sharing your experience if you have used any AI tools and how that helps your life or professional life being better?
Yeah, certainly. I think there are multiple free Gen AI tools that are available based on Chat GPT 3.5. But I think if you're really looking for meaningful outcome, I think perhaps Chat GPT 4 is the better tool to use. And there are multiple or plethora of tools that are available in the market as of today. To name a few that I have used is one of them being AnyWord. It helps you make use of your product marketing much easier. You can direct your product marketing emails, the campaigns, and also any product promotions based on a specific target audience. So you can choose from a specific template, and then I think you can also choose a persona to whom you are redirecting or directing this specific message to. And depending on that, the AI large language model will come up with a text. I'm sorry, was there a question?
No. We had some difficulty in hearing you, but yeah, it's fine now. I think there was a network some issue. Yeah, but you are
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I think, yeah, there are plenty of tools. I was talking about AnyWord, and
Yeah,
then I
we
think
heard that.
Tome is the other one, which helps you in terms of creating nice presentation. Kinshuk was saying like there are tools available in the market, and that just comes in my mind on top of my head that Tome I have used very often while doing multiple presentation. It helps you with you need to once you have jot down your thought around or structuralize your content, maybe you can just pass it on to Tom, and Tom will come up with nice graphics and much more AI or Gen AI related content to further enhance your presentation. So that's the other tool. In terms of financial planning, Finta is one I have used to reach out to potential investors. It has a good amount of VCs network, and you can pitch in your idea, and then you can gather your feedback from them, and also take this discussion into further context.
Right.
Apart from that, I think, yeah, there are multiple tools in terms of different aspects of the product journey. You can utilize market research, be it GTM. And I think depending on the case to case, I think you can pick and choose the tool that you need.
Great. Thank you so much, Shubha. Thanks for the very well-guided steps that you have put together, and that really helped our audience to understand. I'll move on, and thanks. Stay with us. We will have some more sessions, but yeah, moving to our next speaker, Mayank. Mayank, what are your thoughts on this? How we can protect 95% of the new products not to be a failure?
Absolutely, and I'm glad that the things that Shubhavita covered, you would see some overlap here as well, right? And then those were the right things. I think some of the key things that comes to mind, again, based on my experience research that we have done and I've seen in the market, where things fail is that if not enough research was done to know what is your product, who are you selling it to, what value is it generating. It's not enough to say that, well, I've done my research and then this is my data that needs those hypotheses, or even if you have some data that is backed by some fact, you still need to be able to go to the market or go in front of when you're asking for funding, when you're all, or doesn't matter again who you're asking the funding from, whether it is VC or putting up your own money. It's important to make sure that you are validating your hypothesis. It's not enough to just go with your gut feeling that I feel this is wrong, or somebody told me that this is not working, so there's a market out there. You can use that as a starting point, but do your research and engage in the prototyping early enough to prove those hypotheses. Especially coming to SaaS world, right, or coming to software, coming to the digital products, it's not hard to do these kind of prototypings and then put it out there to get that feedback from the market, that the target that I have, the target audience that I have in mind, or that my research says that I need to go after this kind of demography, this kind of market, this kind of geography. Even let's say India is a big geography, you will find enough differences between states, between locations, to find your niche. Until you find that niche, be iterative in that process. As you would discover new information, as you would discover new learnings, and use that in your next set of prototyping and your next set of research that you're doing, so that this will help you essentially be ready for your go-to market, right? That when you're ready for your big bang, this work that you've put in of prototyping of your market research will increase the chances of success, essentially, which I've seen a lot of startups sort of fail to do. And I think enough of us have seen some of these the Shark Tank shows to understand that when people come up with the bright ideas, well, this is a unique idea that I'm coming up with. Kinshuk also covered this. That's not enough. It's the day-to-day decisions that matters for your product, for your company, and you just need to get the enough of those decisions right. Probably more than 50% of those decisions right. That needs to be more than the decisions that you're taking on, and then learn from that. That is like one of the things that we've seen sort of missing from good product leaders, well, not from good, but basically from product leaders, and which separates from good, the good product leaders from an average product leader who have not done their work in this arena. And then again, going back to the topic of consumer-centric design. The reason I use the term consumer is because this may not just mean that an actual user using your product. This could be a system consuming it. You talk about enterprise software here, there could be integrations that could be built, other systems talking to your system, how you connect those systems. So your consumer can also be another app, another system, another application that is leveraging what you are putting or what your product is putting out there. So it needs to be designed in that way by knowing that who your audience is, who your consumer is. Is it a user? Is it a system? Is it and then what role they are playing? So design it accordingly. And then lastly, the last point here essentially uh, is more when your product is already out there, it has seen some initial success. How do you take it to the next level? And that's where your product leader's mindset come into the picture, that it's not enough to just get the success the first time, the second time, but how do you sustain the success? And we have seen enough products in our lifetimes that we have seen they peaked and they fell off the chart. Why? Because the lack of flexibility that the product offers, or the lack of flexibility that was not there in the leaders leading these products or these companies. So you need to have the growth mindset. It's not, again, not enough to bang on that success to guarantee the future success. You need your products to evolve to see if it is still addressing the core market problems. Are there new associated problems that my product can address? How do I go after that? How do I expand from where I am? You could be a very small company, achieve the success, you became a medium-sized company. How do you take it a level up? So having that growth mindset can help you achieve that. And the picture that I put in, so this is your Boston Dynamic dog. So one is from 1994. So I think 1994 versus a more 2023 model. It has gone through that evolution cycle. Again, this is what we see in the public domain. The use of this kind of robotics is way versatile, out for military, out for the automation that has been done in the factories, in the warehouses. But what it shows is that how much it has evolved over time, because it has learned, because it has done the prototyping, it has done its work to learn the behavior, to get the feedback and incorporate that in the actual product, which you see the end result of that here. So yeah, that's basically my take on how you cannot prevent failure, but how can you can ensure that your failures could be minimized, and then there's no one-time success or one-time failure that can stop your company from going. You just need to be able to learn from that and be versatile enough, be flexible enough to grow from there and learn from that and then grow from there, as opposed to just take that and go back home.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mayank. Let's have any questions, team, from the audience that you see. If not, we'll take a quick poll and let's get into the poll mode. While we are having the poll, Mayank, one quick question that anything related to any top 2 takeaways, if you have to, really focus on not to have the product failure. Yes, one is definitely not related to what you, but on your overall, whether it's a small, medium business or an enterprise or it's a startup, what are those 2 things that, it will really save the business owner's life or a product owner's life?
Know your customer and know what your product is. You really need to define it, and I'm repeating this message. You really need to understand what your product is. What is it that makes your product valuable, and make it valuable for whom? Those are the 2 key things that I've seen experienced seasoned product managers fail at as well at times. So you just need to keep going back and get the clarity on these 2 things: what your product is and who your product is valuable for. Basically, who's your customer.
Sure, man. Thanks. And I think you did talk about a couple of case studies during your keynote, which I related still in this session, that Zoom and Trello and then Canva and few other products, they really knew their customers and they really knew the product value, and they were successful in communicating the value to the market. And that's why it's a kind of a product-led growth that really also helping the startups or medium businesses or enterprises not to be a failure. Thank you so much for such an insightful panel. I will move on to the next session. We are going to make it a little quicker. Let's get into the next session now. Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Okay, I heard there were, is there any question? Okay, perfect. So moving on to our best practice session, and here are two lovely ladies, Archana Kamlakar. She would be, talking about this session on 7 best practices that today's product teams follow to stay truly agile, customer centric. And Camilla is not there in the morning session with us, but she had been kind enough share our slides to share with the audience. So I will do the due diligence on behalf of her. So starting with Archana. Archana, please go ahead and please introduce yourself, and let's start with the best practice session sharing based on your lens of understanding product and managing it globally in your various experiences. Go ahead, Archana.
Yeah, with 2 decades of experience in banking and financial organizations, I have been working in delivering multiple projects with multiple teams across India and United States, predominantly on emerging technologies, which involve Azure, AWS, and Java, and many other latest trending technologies, including AI, ML projects, which I have done. I would probably give one example of the chatbot, which we have developed in one of the recent organizations. So that can be one of the example while I'll be talking around. Yeah, this is about me and my experience. In addition to that, yeah, definitely. I have, with a passion to service to the society, I have written a small book called Gratitude Overload during the pandemic time to ensure people are uplifted, understanding gratitude as a subject as well. So I'm involved into social activities, other social activities as well. This is a small introduction about me, and as the picture says here, I'm an alumna of IIMC and also ISB. In ISB, I've done a leadership program with artificial intelligence, and in IIMC, I've done leadership program specifically. So this is a little bit about me, Sudiptaa, and everybody here, and good afternoon from India.
Great, Archana. So let's start with your session. What are your thought process when it comes to how the team can be truly agile and customer centric? What do you think? Yeah.
Before I deep dive into this particular topic specifically, I would like to ask one question to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Would you, if given preference, would you go for Nokia or iPhone? One. And if given preference, would you go for Kodak or Sony with respect to camera? So you can put your answers in the chat window there, or you can just reflect on this particular question that I have put. Nokia or iPhone? With respect to cameras, do you want to go with Kodak or Sony, right? So this, in just, if you reflect for yourself on this, it truly talks about agility and customer centricity. This example itself, we can close a session with this. However, I would like to deep dive a little bit with my experience, relevant experience in the industry. I would like to a little bit deep dive into what agility is and customer centricity. So in order to be truly agile and customer centric, I would say it is all about mindset and following best practices with respect to being customer focused, be it customer delight, be it be it with respect to customer needs, and being more flexible. So these would actually summarize being more customer centric. Now, first best practice I would say is to the leadership team, right? Because leadership plays a major role when it comes to success of any product delivery. Would you agree with me?
Definitely, Archana, I would.
So leadership team actually should bring awareness about one, agile methodologies and importance of being agile, and also how important is being customer centric. These awareness sessions should be given to the employees and also to the stakeholders. That's what keeps us focused with respect to our organizational goals and the product delivery goals, right? And next, before deep diving into really customer feedbacks and other kind of things that we really know and we have talked about, and lots of forums talk about it, I would say one of the most important thing to build is trust in the employees. Empower the employees and build trust in the employees. What is the reason we need this? Now I'm talking more about agile environment first before jumping into customer centric. Why do we need trust and empowerment within teams? When we build trust and empower teams, they have the freedom to express themselves, come up with innovative ideas, right? And they share their own experiences and maybe market trends, XYZ. The voice of the employees definitely help in much advancement of the products as well, right? And this will lead to this will create, or this will foster an environment which will lead to innovation. Why is innovation important in product development? Now we see, we have seen Mr. Kinshuk speaking about it, Mr. Mayank speaking about it, and the other panel members also speaking about the importance of artificial intelligence and the collaboration with AI in the product development, right? So this is what builds when we actually foster, as leaders, when we foster the environment which is more open communication, right? That is one thing. And I would say, of course, the heart of all this process for being customer centricity is being working closely with the customers or the product owner. Why is it important? Right from the inception of the product, or right from the inception of the idea, it is important to involve the product owner and the stakeholders.
Archana, are you there?
We may have lost Archana.
Yeah.
Is back.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are now. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason we need to be more customer focused and customer centric is we involve customer at the inception of the product idea, and then we have continuous feedback from them, iterative feedback from them, and this is possible in agile methodology. When we say agile, it's not just about being Scrum specific. Agile has different other methodologies as well. Now, Scrum is one, and we have Kanban, which is also predominantly utilized, right? The reason I'm talking about brought up Kanban as well here is in the organizations that I've worked, specifically in product development, we tried a lot experimenting with Scrum, and it did not work for our project delivery. And that's when we thought, like, let's experiment the other one, which is the Kanban. And then Kanban was more feasible for us because we had dependencies with other functions as well overall. And hence, we had to, after the evaluation, Kanban methodology was a right fit for us. So one of the best practices I would say is evaluate which methodology you want to go with. Agile might not, it is not definite, as I mentioned, that Scrum methodology only fits for all projects, right? So we need to evaluate and choose the right one so that we see the best outcome of this flow, overall flow, functional flow, right? And then I would say another best practice is collaboration, cross-functional collaboration. Cross-functional collaboration is the key in being customer-centric and also being agile. The reason is, right from all the functional flows of all the product development life cycle, right from the development, design to marketing to the customer support, the information should be transparent, the communication should be transparent, and everybody should be on the same page. Equally, in the reverse direction, when we take, what is the customer looking at? How is the customer looking at the product even after it has been delivered? What is the response on it? How is it trending in the market? And if the information, what are the issues predominantly? If it goes well, definitely we see that in the revenue. If it doesn't go well, how do we get the right feedback? Is with respect to customer surveys, we can have customer interactions, we can have definitely demos will help. But anyways, right now I'm talking about post has been deployed with the customer. Now, it is important that the customer service team, which is actually the front facing the customer, should give pass on the relevant feedback back to the development teams and the product owner, so that right insights can be derived out of it, and right and informed decisions can be made in evolving the product in the right direction. So I feel the collaboration between multiple teams associated is very, very, very important. Apart from that, yeah, iterative development. So when we talk about agile, it is all about iterative development. I'm sure everybody is aware about it. I wouldn't talk deeper into it, but it definitely helps when we have our stakeholders involved as a part of these plannings. It helps in prioritizing right features at the right time. And the sprint demos or the sprint, not retrospective specifically, but definitely the sprint reviews that we call, right? Sprint reviews, which are actually where actually the product is MVPs or the initial product developments are demoed. Those play a key role where customers can give us feedback, or where the product owners, we are evolving the product at every phase. And why is it important? Most of the times it is like, okay, we are good on this, let's proceed. However, there are scenarios which I have seen live in my own product developments where, due to technical challenges, some of the features could have gone on hold, where we have probably, for example, I'm working with AWS team in resolving something. In such case, it's totally not upon me or the team to ensure the timeline of the delivery, right? In such cases, we do have dependency on other teams, which are external. So when we actually have a transparent conversation with the product owners and the key stakeholders, it help us in taking decisions very promptly on whether this particular feature should go on hold, or whether this particular feature or some other prioritized feature can be included. So this kind of iterative demos, iterative cycle would help in prioritization and reprioritization. And also, it is very important and key to keep our stakeholders informed about the trends of the market and the tools of the market. How does it help? For example, we were building a chatbot as a project in my recent company. The reason I'm bringing up this particular product is so that it is relevant with the subject as well that we're talking on AI. So for this chatbot project, and the product, which we were actually across all functions as well, we had to implement AI ML. Now, we did not have the expertise within us. Recruiting a person from outside is not easy. We all know the pain of recruitment. While getting the profiles is easy, but drilling down to the right candidate for your project or the product is not easy. It involves a lot of time. So in such case, the best idea I proposed to the teams is, let's educate our teams first, but let's bring them up scale and give them opportunity in the new technology. Let them learn. We have external trainers, let them learn and let them develop the tool. And because the opportunity was given, because we respected the team culture as well, the teams were much more willing to give beyond 100% in the whole process. And we definitely had wonderful product developed. So the reason I'm talking about here is, while we have educated the teams and brought them up to the mark on the technology aspect, still there are some areas where we do not have expertise. What do we do in such case? We can collaborate. For example, in particular case where we had to have the pattern search capabilities, we have relied heavily on AWS services, where we have utilized AWS Lex, we have utilized elasticity search, etc. All these features as a part of AWS, where the developer did not really have to put their brain or look at the failures part. I mean, it was a solution of collaboration with external services. As somebody rightly told, the product there was built not for them to consume. It is product to product kind of collaboration. So in this case, we had a product to product collaboration of utilizing AWS services, and it was a huge grand success. And as I mentioned, working closely with the close proximity with the customer or the product owner, right, is key, where we could actually educate them by saying that these are the technologies available. Do we have relevant costs to get this done? Or what kind of actions can we take? So it is technology plus the product, the product owner or the budget giver, in that case, investor, who owns the budget, to take very important decisions like this, it becomes being agile plays a key role in this. So these are few things: empowerment and tests, empowering the teams, encouraging continuous learning. As I mentioned, right, it is important for the teams also to stay relevant with the technology, as I mentioned. And additionally, I want to add one more point, where while we talk about the product development, we are talking about what are the features that we have planned, XYZ, right? User persona, and having keeping customer in mind, XYZ. However, unknowingly, there is something which is internal as a technical team, which a technical team needs to um, incorporate. That, I would say, is a technical debt, right? Where the softwares that we're using probably may go for an upgraded version, right? So we also need to stay relevant with upgraded versions of the technology. And then we may have some other regulatory constraints for which we need to pay a little more attention towards the technicalities, right? So these are also some additional items that we need to incorporate as a part of our sprints. The reason being is, what is the use of the product which we have it's where the customer is happy. However, it cannot be released into the market if it is not satisfying the regulatory norms, right? So we need to pay attention to all these as well when we are talking about agility and customer centricity and our successful product in the market, delivering successful products into the market. These are a couple of best practices, Sudiptaa, that I have in mind.
Sure. Archana, we have one more minute. Would you like to quickly go through this slide and the next slide? And I think we need to move to Camilla's session.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as we are we're talking about AI and also agile world, right? So I just put these graphs across, which clearly show on how these are not AI products as such. This is what I'm talking about: how AI in collaboration with product development life cycle has improved, helped in efficiency gains. So here you see the first graph that you see is about the companies which have seen huge efficiency gains. And with respect to the customer support, right? If AI incorporated, the customer support the cost for the customer support has reduced, and the development of the products was much faster, and the customers are much happier. The blue ones are the ones where AI impact is shown in this graph, if you see in the first one. And the second one, it shows long back when we were actually using the designs on paper, it used to take months. And then when we moved to the software based digital, it took weeks. And then based on how we moved towards internet and cloud, etc., how the design outcomes have been in days. And then now with Gen AI, it is all in minutes, right? We have spoken a lot during the earlier sessions on how Gen AI tools have been helpful. So this is a trend we are seeing, where from months to it has moved to minutes. This is by incorporating AI tools as a part of our product development. And as you see, the other areas, this is all the numbers and metrics just to show, in addition to what others have spoken, these are the trends on how AI has tremendously helped in product development. Be it GitHub Copilot, if you've seen the adoption rate, and also the efficiency rate, how it has built over the period of time. We can move to the next slide, Sudiptaa. So these are the tools, like AI-centric technology ecosystem. Why are we talking more about AI along with Agile right now? AI has come into more visibility. The primary reason is we now have a very promising infrastructure which is helping us implement AI technologies. AI is not new; it has been there from ages. It's just that right now we have faster systems. We have tools which are helping us, capable tools and infrastructure which has been helping us to trend faster into the technology, right? As you're seeing here, AI apps, we have n number of AI apps which have come, models developer tools, and the platforms, cloud platforms and data centers and hardwares, everything has been has evolved continuously, and now is the time when we are able to utilize it to the best. And I'm sure it continues evolving and trending. This is about the ecosystem, which actually helps in the product development.
Thank you so much, Archana. So yeah, I will quickly go to Camilla's deck. So Camilla works in Coolprops. She is the CEO there, and Coolprops is known for the low-code implementation partner. Specifically, they are located in Netherlands, but they are championing this overall low-code implementation in the various organizations. These are some of the specifics what Coolprops do. As you can see, they work with the OutSystems for also, deploying the low-code technologies fast in the organization. Here is, she believes that the 7 best practices that makes product teams or any product owners globally truly agile and customer-centric. One is definitely on the leadership, which Archana has also covered. Work for your team. That's a servant leadership. Ownership, taking the ownership or being accountable, act like an owner, having your own personal stake there, so that it looks like that if you are not involved, if you are not leading it, if you are not taking along with your team, if you are not really feeling that enthusiastic about the overall ideation and the outcome and believing in what you are producing or designing or developing for your customers, and also helping the bigger community, that's about your ownership. Collaboration, Archana has also talked about it. So, and of course, all our speakers, Kingshuk, Mayank, Shubha, they have all talked about the cross collaboration. That's very important, and that also has the overall diversity, recognizing why we are different and what is the value that we bring, being as a very, very intellectual individual, as an intellectual individual. And of course, the prototyping, identifying, gathering the feedback, and then coming up with the prototype of the product, and continuous improvement to learn, measure, doing those experiments, validation, and things like that. And of course, the last but not the least, Mayank has told many times, even Shubha, the user-centric design. So these are the 7 points Camilla truly believes, and she wants to share with all of you. That's about it. Let's have a quick poll on the best practice session. And thank you so much, Archana and Camilla, for being really very kind and sharing your live experiences throughout the globe on this specific best practices session. Would love to hear from you more. And of course, reader audience, being you are watching us online, during the LinkedIn and also on YouTube. If you have any question, please post it while the poll is live. And also you have your chat, so please share some questions that you have. I also see some questions. Oh, okay, these are the poll responses. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shubha. Yes, that was a wonderful session. Okay, guys, so moving on, I think we have this product-led growth remote workshop. Wes Bush, he is the CEO of product-led systems, and you can actually see this on ShorterLoop YouTube live. Let me tell you what Wes is talking about. Let's hear out few key things that he believes, and that's why he started his product-led systems. You can know more about he is coming up with a lot of free stuff for companies to help on the product-led growth in his productled.com website. And he also has some courses there, but let's just hear it out. He has done it.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be sharing today the modern way to scale a SaaS business. This is going to be a really fun workshop. We got about 20-25 minutes together where we're going to go through what this looks like for your specific business and how you can really scale a lot faster the product-led way. So I am super excited to dig into this with you today. But before we do, let me just ask you a quick question. So when it comes to running your business, Are you tired of the more traditional approach to scaling a SaaS business where you are basically hand-holding customers a lot when it comes to helping them get value out of your product, or also when it comes to upgrading or hopping on sales calls just so that they can actually understand what the heck your product does? So the main way of growing a sales-led business is typically through hiring more sales reps, and it's very expensive. But what I'm going to be doing today is going through how you can really approach growing the product-led way. And one thing before we dig into this is you're not alone. Like, if that's you, where you're tired of the traditional approach of scaling, what's really going to be great about this presentation is you're going to learn, like, this isn't just you. And on average, 3 out of every 4 B2B buyers actually prefers to buy or try before they buy. So this is going to be really applicable to scaling the modern way, selling to the modern consumer. However, when it comes to this, there is actually quite a few challenges that we're going to dig into. So the first thing is that creating a try before you buy experience is actually very hard. There's a lot to it. You also have to consider a lot of different variables to get this experience right. So on the surface, it just looks like, hey, like there's this free trial and freemium experience going on. But then when you start rolling it out, you realize, oh my goodness, there's so much more to this. Becoming product-led involves changing your pricing. It is part of your company level strategy, onboarding, org structure, you name it. There's a lot of things that go on. And so most companies, I always refer to this as the product-led iceberg. You hit it.
Okay, guys. I think you can hear that out from our YouTube channel. Go to ShorterLoop YouTube and you can, hear more about it. I think it's a great workshop that he had done for our audience. He is really talking about it's not the real conventional way and the try before you buy. And then he has come up with some really value-oriented strategies that he believes, and it is working for organizations globally. So please do watch out. Share your feedback on this. We will move on now to our closing session. Kingshuk, over to you. How audience, till that time, you can ask questions during this wrap-up session, and we'll also have a few polls to close this note. So over to you, Kingshuk.
So I want to thank everyone for attending this webinar with us today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how to leverage AI in your product management process, including continuous delivery, and other aspects of product management. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. We are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on all kinds of social media. We'll be happy to answer any questions. And if you want to learn more about ShorterLoop, go to ShorterLoop.com. Thank you.
And last but not the least, it was a real great having all of you here. And I also see people are joining at this point. So yes, please go ahead, watch YouTube, stay with us on LinkedIn so that you get to see all the different announcements or the different updates that we are coming up on this product management space, powered by AI and product discovery and design thinking. And we are also doing a few other offline product launches that you will see us soon, end of Jan or Feb, in the first week of Feb, I would say. And you will also see us more on other channels as well. So don't go away from us. Stay with us. We love you, and we would like to hear from you. Share your experience about this event and let us know what more you want from us to hear. And thank you so much. We will bring more and more speakers from the industry, from the globe, so that you get to hear more on the product management space. That's me, Sudiptaa, and my whole team from ShorterLoop. We are signing off now. It has been a great session having you. And we will definitely mention the winner, the audience who has been the amazing and most engaging audience of this morning session. And we will mention that shortly sometime this week. So guys, go ahead, copy, paste, and share more about this event within your network. Take care. Bye-bye. And we'll come back.